can't run this guy. I mean, he is so far gone. He doesn't know where he is. Every time he gets off a plane, he's looking around and around and around. He doesn't even have the decency when he's in Vietnam not to remind everybody that we were there, right? What did he talk about? How his favorite movie was Good Morning Vietnam while he's there in Hanoi. And that's not exactly, a memory that people like to think of. And then he goes up on stage. He has no idea what the stage is, where he is. Watch him. He doesn't seem to get it. And they even have handle rails there for him. Now, in fairness, the other guy's kind of up there in age too. But what's going on? I mean, we don't need a bunch of people with dementia. I'm sorry. You know what? I hope he doesn't have that. I hope he doesn't have that. And that's me getting my Irish up. But I'm sick of this. Clueless. Absolutely, positively clueless. So do you think it should come as a surprise that Donald Trump is at 52% compared to Joe Biden's 42%? A 10-point spread, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, shows you how sick Americans are of this guy who spends 40% of his work week on vacation, who can't even bother to respond to reporters when they ask him after a weekend at the beach in Delaware, hey, do you have anything to say on Maui? After lives have been lost and people's homes have been devastated. And he looks at them with a blank stare. He has nothing. He has nothing. So why has he been in this business so long other than to maybe line the pockets of his family? Considering the money that his son took in, I mean, it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for the President of the United States, Joe Biden, to exit stage left. And by the way, if the Democrats know what is good for them, that is exactly what they are going to do. Because again, looking at these numbers, they're so startling. This is Washington Post, ABC News. So this is not like some fringe little thing. This is a pretty reputable poll. And what they found was Trump's actually going up. If you look back to where Trump was versus Joe Biden in May, well, Trump was still ahead then too, but it was 49% to 43%. Biden's dropped a point down to 42%, while Trump is up at 52. I mean, wow. So the Post itself is acknowledging that most polls show the two candidates as neck and neck and that they have an outlier here. But their other one was an outlier too. And so some people are like stamping their feet and they're like, gosh, their polling data is so wrong. Why don't they just fix it? Because they're going to have egg on their face. And the fact that they have these crazy polls, well, that just means they're going to, really be shown to be idiotic in the end. And there's one pollster that's being very dramatic about that with a bunch of tweets saying, gosh, these guys don't know what they're doing. This is interesting. NBC News pulled out of a poll of its own on Sunday, which put Trump and Biden at 46% each, a result much more in line with put out a poll. And so they were at 46% each. Real Clear Politics, which averages all the polls, is giving Trump a 1.1% lead. So everybody's like, oh, it's an outlier. It couldn't possibly be true. But, back in 2016, it was those outliers that tended to be true. So I'd be curious to really drill down and look at some of these metrics, right? If you look at some of these metrics, how different are they than some of the other things that we have seen? A near majority of Americans, 48%, say both men are too old to serve another term. Nearly a quarter, 23%, say neither is too old. Roughly similar percentages of Democrats and independents say both men would be too old, while a slim majority of Republicans say Biden is too old. So here's the question. What are they going to do? What are the Democrats going to do? I mean, you wouldn't have gotten Ronald Reagan, I'll tell you that, if you had maybe brought somebody in to primary Jimmy Carter. They're not going to primary Biden, but they got to figure out a solution, right? Hey everyone, Trish Regan here. If you enjoyed that clip, please do me the favor of subscribing to the channel. Just hit that little subscribe button right over there. Did I do that right? Not quite, but you know where it is. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so that you get the alerts, and I'll see you back on the show.